We are at Haleakala, hiking the Sliding Sands Trail at 10,000 feet above sea level. And earlier today we were touching the ocean floor when we were snorkeling. And just beyond here is the crater. Apparently Haleakala has erupted 7 times in the last 1,000 years and will erupt once again.
Haleakala, House of the Sun. Rising into the clouds over 10,000 feet above sea level, Haleakala towers over all in its domain. The summit is an otherworldly and alien landscape, more akin to the planet Mars than Earth. And where better to observe the planets and stars than from the top of our own world? The air is thin, clear, and devoid of light pollution. Here at the Haleakala Observatory, scientists track celestial objects in the night sky, as well as activity on the surface of the sun. No need for a telescope to see 2 of the largest volcanoes in the world, Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa, on the Big Island over 100 miles away. Only the hardiest of life can survive at Haleakala's summit, an environment with virtually no precipitation, like the invasive pineapple chamomile plant and the endemic silver sword, a rare native. Above the clouds, life is quiet and still, undisturbed by residents and visitors alike. Haleakala is a dormant volcano and has erupted 10 times in the last 1,000 years. The lack of volcanic activity means the crater is intact and well preserved, and evidence of its violent past can still be seen today. Join us here on Destination Hawaii as we venture from the depths to the peaks on the remarkably unique island of Maui. In prehistoric times, the islands surrounding Maui were once part of a larger landmass known as Maui Nui, which formed somewhere between 500,000 and 1.2 million years ago. Maui Nui consisted of 7 shield volcanoes. As sea levels gradually rose over the millennia, the land connections between the volcanoes slipped under the ocean, leaving behind the islands of Molokai, Lana'i, Kaho'olawe, and Maui. Haleakala is the youngest volcano in Maui Nui, and on its sunny leeward slope is the master-planned resort community of Wailea. Once a quiet fishing village known for its sturdy trees that were used to make canoes, Wailea was raised in the early 1900s to grow sugarcane and raise cattle, like most of the fertile land in Hawaii. By the 1970s, mega corporations had moved in, and resorts and golf courses catering to the wealthy, like those at Ma'aluaka Beach, swiftly followed. But some notable geologic features still retain their natural beauty, such as Pu'u, a cinder cone on Maui's south coast. Hidden behind Pu'u is one of Maui's best-kept secrets, McKenna Beach, the island's unofficial nude beach. From the slopes of Haleakala, The Valley Isle extends to the peaks of Mauna Kaho'olawe, the West Maui Mountains. At 5,788 feet, Pu'u Kukui is the tallest peak in Mauna Kaho'olawe and one of the wettest spots on Earth, perpetually shrouded in clouds. In the valley between the two volcanoes, we find the largest city in Maui, Kahului, home of Walmart, Home Depot, and Costco, though also the island's main shipping harbor and international airport. Connecting Kahului to West Maui along an isthmus is Ma'alaia Bay. At the adjacent marina, you can catch a ferry to the surrounding nearby islands. Ma'alaia is also known for oceanography research at the Maui Ocean Center, the largest living tropical reef aquarium in the Western Hemisphere. The center is celebrated for raising and maintaining coral reef, as well as educating the public about native marine life like the Hawaiian green sea turtle. Across the Au'au Channel lies another island once part of the greater Maui Nui, and now the sixth largest island in the Hawaiian chain, Lana'i. Nicknamed the Pineapple Island for the plantation founded by the Dole Food Company, Lana'i is 98% privately owned. The island has little in the way of modern infrastructure, with unpaved roads and no traffic lights, though there is a small school and hospital for the local population of approximately 3,300 people. According to local Polynesian legend, Lana'i is haunted by man-eating spirits, yet the island continues to attract tourists to its serene beaches and pristine waters for snorkeling and diving. Just to the south of Lana'i, across the Kialai Kahiki Channel, is the smallest of the 8 main Hawaiian islands. Lacking fresh water, this island was uninhabitable and is now a spiritual place for native Hawaiians to worship Kanaloa, god of the ocean, but it has a tragic past. Once a penal colony during the reign of the Kamehameha dynasty, Kaho'olawe was designated as a testing ground for bombing runs during World War II. After the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, the United States declared martial law. The Navy seized the island of Kaho'olawe from the locals, shelling it with heavy artillery for the next 50 years. The Navy also targeted nearby Molokini Crater, a partially submerged volcanic crater, because of its similar size and shape to a battleship. Much of the delicate coral reef system around Molokini was destroyed and lost forever. It wasn't until 1990 that U.S. President George H.W. Bush declared the end of live fire on Kaho'olawe and Molokini, and in 1994 the islands were finally returned to Hawaii. It took another 5 years to remove unexploded ordnance, and now the only visitors allowed on Kaho'olawe are native Hawaiians during their spiritual pilgrimage.
About to jump on this little Zodiac to head to Molokini Island crater to do a little snorkeling.
One of the most treasured marine ecosystems in the world can be found just off the coast of Maui, Molokini Crater. With visibility up to 150 feet, the coral reef here is home to 250 species of unique wildlife. So strap on that face mask and fins, hop aboard a Zodiac for the 2.5-mile ride out to sea, and get ready to experience the natural wonders of Molokini. On the windward side of Maui, the dry landscape of the valley gives way to a lush rainforest. Thick canopy here hides one of the most scenic and dangerous roads in all of Hawaii, the Hana Highway, better known as the Road to Hana. Winding and twisting its way through 620 curves and over 40 single-lane bridges, it can take upwards of 2.5 hours to make the 52-mile trek from Kaho'olawe to Hana. The weather here is wild and unpredictable, often changing from sunshine to storm clouds with each passing jagged cliff or deep ravine. There are many stops along the Hana Highway where remnants of rural Hawaii can still be seen, as well as countless majestic waterfalls. Fresh water flows free through the porous volcanic rock, collecting in the headlands of Haleakala's rainy shadow, cascading down its steep slopes. There are at least 18 named waterfalls along the road to Hana, each with its own unique flow and pool. Many tourists never make it all the way to Hana, turning back before nightfall, unwilling to brave the hairpin turns in the dark. But those who finish the journey are rewarded with a rare glimpse of old Hawaii as it was, before the megacorps, cruise ships, and timeshares. Due to its extreme isolation, Hana is well preserved like a time capsule, retaining its rustic and quiet nature. A smattering of small homes, inhabited by families for generations, pepper the shoreline under the watchful eye of Haleakala. The sounds of the city are absent, replaced by an earthy ambiance of waves, wildlife, and water. Life in Hana moves slow and steady, without the stress of modern-day society. Native Hawaiians call this Ohana.
We continue to follow breaking news in Hawaii. Wildfires have devastated parts of the island of Maui.
We know at least 6 people have died so far, at least 24 are hurt, and officials say those numbers could definitely increase. Most of the historic town of Lahaina is ash and debris right now. This includes Front Street, which is a popular shopping and dining area. Officials are urging people not to travel to Maui right now. They say it's not a safe place to be.
In the early morning on August 8, 2023, a small fire sparked near a school on West Maui's dry coast. Due to sustained winds from a passing hurricane, the wildfire quickly spread into a massive firestorm that devastated the historic town of Lahaina, consuming everything in its path. 24 hours later, the blaze finally burned out, leaving behind the charred remains of an estimated 2,200 homes and businesses. In the following days, over 100 people would be reported missing or dead. It was the most destructive fire in Hawaii history, and thousands of locals lost everything. The Hawaiian word for love is aloha, and Maui became the center of aloha pouring in from the entire world. Barely a year later, the seeds of hope have sprung up around Lahaina, and the long rebuild has begun. Intensity of wildfires continues to grow in Maui due to a wide variety of factors, such as increased climate change, unregulated land development, and even the struggle over water rights between landowners and big business. Even though fire awareness is spreading and preventative measures are being undertaken, the risk of wildfires in Maui remains dangerously high. The island of Maui is one of the most unique locales on the planet, offering residents and visitors alike a magical experience like no other. Where else can you go swimming with sea turtles in the ocean to hiking above the clouds on a volcano, all within a 90-minute drive? But Maui is also increasingly vulnerable to climate change, commercialization, and excessive tourism. Over 3 million people flock to the island per year, straining limited resources. But if we care for the island and show its native people our mahalo, then Maui and all of Hawaii can be an extraordinary destination for generations to come.